The real reasons women leave good men. You're in a relationship with a beautiful woman. So far, it's been so good, and she brings out the best in you. You admit it yourself. You're kind, you're attentive, you're funny, you're financially stable, you love her dearly. Yet, in recent times, things have begun to feel off. Eventually, she breaks up with you for no apparent reason and walks away. Sounds crazy, right? Let's unpack this. Jessica OS here, welcome to the channel. So one of the biggest reasons women leave good men is because of a phenomenon called emotional safety. This term might sound positive, but let's break down what it really means and how it can sometimes backfire. When we talk about emotional safety, we're referring to a state where a person feels secure enough to express their true feelings and vulnerabilities without fear of judgment or repercussions, right? You tend to find these in healthy relationships. However, achieving the balance is more complex than it seems. As a man, you might be relentlessly pursuing the goal of keeping your woman happy. You shower her with gifts, always say the right things, never let a disagreement escalate into a real argument, etc. On the surface, this sounds like the ideal relationship, right? But here's the catch. This constant effort to maintain perfection can have unintended consequences. When you're always trying to please, your partner might start to feel like they're living in a bubble where only positive emotions are allowed. It can create an environment where she feels immense pressure to reciprocate your efforts, even when she's not in the mood or when she needs space to process her own emotions. The relentless pursuit of happiness can make her feel like she's walking on eggshells, afraid to express anything negative for fear of bursting the bubble you've created. And over time, instead of feeling cherished and loved, she begins to feel trapped. The pressure to constantly be happy and appreciative can become overwhelming. She might feel like she can't have a bad day, can't express her frustrations, or can't have a moment of vulnerability without disrupting that perfect relationship dynamic. To avoid this trap, it's important to understand that true emotional safety comes from allowing space for all emotions, the good, the bad, the ugly. It's about creating an environment where your partner feels free to express her true self without the need to constantly meet an unrealistic standard of happiness. So encourage her to open up about how she feels, allow for moments of vulnerability, let her drop the ball sometimes, and understand that it's okay to have disagreements and tough conversations. These moments of real, raw connection are what build genuine emotional safety and deepen the bond between you and her. The second thing I want to discuss is complacency. So, complacency often sneaks into relationships where one partner, usually the man in this context, believes that being kind, loving, stable is sufficient to keep the relationship thriving. Now, don't get me wrong. Kindness and love are fundamental pillars of relationships, right? However, they're not the only ingredients needed for a fulfilling partnership. As a man, you must try your every and very best not to fall into a routine. I know it's easier said than done because maybe you're content with your job, you're comfortable where you are in life, you have no significant aspirations or dreams. Now, while stability is important, your woman can quickly start to feel like this sense of stagnation in the relationship. Many women look for partners who not only support them, but also inspire and challenge them. They want someone with whom they can grow, evolve, someone who has ambitions and dreams that push both partners to reach their full potential. When a man becomes complacent, it can create a dynamic where the relationship begins to feel static, unpredictable, ultimately unexciting. At this point, your woman's frustration with you will not be about lack of love or kindness. It will be about your lack of ambition and drive. She wants to feel like she's a part of a journey, a part of something bigger, not just comfortable, unchanging routines. She craves a partner who motivates her, who has goals and aspirations that basically align and complement her own. Complacency can also lead to a lack of engagement in the relationship. When a man believes that he's being kind and loving and providing, he might stop putting an effort to grow that relationship. He might neglect the importance of continuous personal development, shared goals, and the excitement that comes from pursuing new challenges together. Think about it this way. A relationship is like a garden, right? Kindness and love are the soil and water essential for growth. But without the seeds of ambition and the sunlight of shared dreams, the garden will not flourish. It will remain static and eventually it might wither. This doesn't mean you need to have like grandiose dreams, gargantuan dreams, but having personal goals, hobbies, aspirations that you actively pursue make a huge difference. Share these goals with her, involve her in the journey, encourage her to pursue her own, and watch your relationship grow. Because things like these create that dynamic where you both feel inspired and challenged to keep your relationship going. It makes it vibrant, makes your relationship feel full of life. Third thing, we're going to touch on a more delicate topic at this point, intimacy. Okay. So it's one of those aspects of a relationship that, while deeply personal, is absolutely important for its health and longevity. However, even the best men can sometimes fall into this trap when it comes to intimacy. So let's talk about John. He starts to feel a growing sense of disconnection and unfulfillment. Why? Because John's overly cautious approach is creating an emotional and physical barrier between them. Now, good men, in their quest to be respectful and considerate of their women, can sometimes become overly cautious. They fear overstepping boundaries or doing anything that might be perceived as inappropriate. Now, while their intentions are noble, this excessive carefulness can lead to a lack of genuine intimacy. Instead of creating that safe space for emotional and physical connection, it rather builds a wall that keeps your partner at arm's length and drives her into another man's arms. Intimacy is more than just physical closeness. It's about emotional connection and vulnerability. It's about exploring and so much more. It's about feeling seen. It's about feeling understood, valued in your most authentic form. When you're too careful with your woman, you'll avoid necessary conversations about her desires, her fears, her boundaries, and it can leave her feeling misunderstood and emotionally distant. Think of intimacy as a dance, right? It requires both of you to be in sync, moving together with trust and understanding. If one partner is too hesitant or overly cautious, the dance becomes awkward, it becomes disconnected. Similarly, in relationships, the fear of overstepping your boundaries can make the emotional and physical connection feel forced and absent. Creating genuine intimacy involves being attuned to your partner's needs and feelings while also being open about your own. So this means creating a relationship where both of you feel safe to express your true selves. This balance of respect and closeness is important for a healthy relationship. So how do you achieve this balance? Start by having an open conversation, an honest conversation with her about what intimacy means to both of you. Discuss what the boundaries are, what the desires are, and be willing to listen and adopt. Remember, intimacy isn't about grand gestures or perfection. It's about small, everyday moments that build a deeper connection. It's about creating an environment where you both feel safe to be yourselves without judgment. Okay? If you want something in the bedroom, say it. Relationships are complex, and the reasons women leave good men are multifaceted. It's not about pointing fingers, but understanding the deeper emotional needs that drive people's decisions. So if you're a good guy watching this, take a moment to reflect on these points that I've shared with you today. It's not a very long video. Thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget to subscribe, to like, to hit that notification bell so you always get notified when I post something. Okay? My name is Jessica OS. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I'll catch you in the next video.